Pleasure to meet you. Greetings to everyone, and thank you for attending my session. Some of you know me, and for those who see me for the first time, I'm going to briefly introduce myself. My name is Denis. I'm Chief Business Development Officer and Senior Business Project Manager at Navixy, a platform for mobile resource management, which literally incorporates everything from vehicle and asset tracking to field service and other location-based services. I've been engaged in telematics for the last 5.5 years, which I suppose gives me a good reason to be here with you today and discuss a topic that bothers me a lot. It has been bothering me a lot for quite a decent amount of time lately. And I hope it's going to be also interesting for you too. By the way, a video stream that you see as a screen share displays real-time API requests to one of our nodes, of our Navixy nodes. It's also a reflection of one of the essences of telematics. Telematics is about data. You have to know about that. But data should be collected, parsed, aggregated, and delivered to end customers exactly the way they want it. Otherwise, it doesn't have any value and doesn't make any impact for business. It seems to me, and I would dare to say this, that telematics is a bit chaotic and proprietary at the moment. It doesn't have set rules, as we've heard today as well, or single standards. Business-wise, everyone is playing their own game. From one side, it gives a space for new startups to emerge, which I believe is really good. But from another side, it's uncontrollable and hardly predictable. That was actually maybe proved by Colin Sutherland from Geotab with all those legislations in different companies. Most people don't even know what telematics is. If you ask a random people, a random company, about telematics, you will more likely get the reply that they have no idea what you are talking about. It indicates that telematics is not mass market at the moment as it's supposed to be, and majority of businesses still do not understand its value and don't see benefits from implementing it. And here comes the main question of my session. Will it be different for next generations? Will telematics finally become mass market like any CRM or ERP system, maybe with the help of API integration or SDKs? How and should we change the current business models related to telematics and its monetization? And what can we expect from telematics as a service for new generations and how to be successful in it? Since my session is an open one, I would really appreciate to see any one of you joining me on this virtual stage and discuss this topic. Please raise your hands and I will give you an access to this session. And please do not forget to allow your microphone and camera to be heard. If anybody wants to join the event, you should have that option just to be added. And I'm gonna add you as a moderator of that session. Or maybe you cannot see it. Please type a message if you cannot find it. Maybe Alenka will be able to help us with this. Nobody wants to join the session? Maybe you don't know how to raise a hand and to be added, because I don't see anybody requesting access to the session to be added. Let me just maybe ask Alenka if she can help us with that. Okay, if you don't mind, I'm gonna maybe improvise a little bit, because basically the question that I'm posing is kind of crucial, and I've heard and seen some comments from other people about telematics and about what we're doing right now at the moment. I've been in this business for quite a long time, and there are like essential questions that are going to be posed, because there are lots of trends, like Colin also indicated, like electric vehicles, some sort of telematics, or less carbon emission or carbon-free emission vehicles. And that poses a question. So what's going to be a telematics for next generations with all those technologies? And actually, with everybody going mobile, is it going to be mobile telematics? Maybe we should see that trend and go to mobile telematics. Of course, there are lots of threats and opportunities for every company, but the adoption of any technology, if we are talking about mobile telematics, is kind of really high, because it can penetrate any markets with any economy. If you take a look on Africa, like, telematics is different at every region. So if we're talking about technology, like Steve Jobs, when he was alive, he was talking about the penetration also. So he created the phone, and the phone right now is a hardware, actually. And mobile telematics tends to be there, tends to enter those markets, like in Africa, because if you would like to get any hardware or installation, it can be costly. And in this case, mobile telematics can be an answer. So maybe this is the answer, and maybe this is going to be the future. Or maybe, like Colin told, that telematics is going to be free. And that was actually my question. If we're heading to open source telematics, where everybody can use telematics data, create their in-house developments, with the help of API or SDK, integrate them with any current solution and deliver it to end customers. And in most cases right now, I can see the difference between markets. Like in North America, most of the companies, they're familiar with API, and they do understand the value of it. They do understand how to use it and how to implement their value-added solutions and how to distribute them. On the other markets, it's not the case. The majority of businesses, they're either not familiar with API, or they don't want to spend time. But even taking a look on end customers at the moment, most of them, they have in-house development accounts, developers who are actually creating in-house solutions, because they definitely know the processes, the workflow inside the company. So it seems to be also, maybe this is the future, like global marketplace for telematics. But there are lots of different questions. How it's going to affect the current business models? What's going to be the next monetization type of thing for telematics data? Because it's all about data. If anybody wants to join my discussion, or you experience any issues with joining me, please text me in the session chat, so we can figure out how you can be added to my panel discussion, because I can seem to see anybody requesting access. Okay, I think that Simona texted something that you can hear and see me, but I don't seem to see anybody else who would like to join me. Okay. So there are a bunch of questions. I'm going to finish improvising, I guess. So there are a bunch of questions, because new technologies and technologies that are being used. Okay, Edmundo, thank you. Thank you, Edmundo. Would you like to join me on this virtual stage for a live discussion? Okay, I'm gonna finish. Because new technologies are shaping the world. New generations, you can see, using TikTok, they're going mobile. You can see the rise of emergent solutions like mobility. Okay, thank you, Edmundo. Emerging technologies like mobility as a service, everything is being compiled. You could witness recently lots of acquisition of different companies. Mobileye was acquired by Intel Technologies, and also Movit was acquired by Intel. So they're just forming huge corporations. And but telematics is different on each particular market. I know lots of people who want telematics to be open, because it is not really flexible at the moment. And different initiatives from the company, even maybe one of the biggest mapping companies and GIS companies, it's not a secret here, Maps. They also do have open location platform initiative where they invite developers. So what they do, they basically provide anonymized data, telematics data, and GPS data, and location data, and they welcome third-party developers in creating some niche solutions or platforms on top of it. So they're heading towards value-added services. From my experience, I can tell you that being a global platform, it's almost impossible to create the platform that's going to feed all the markets, all the companies. The businesses evolve itself. So you cannot just pace every time and do this or that small feature. You should dream big. You should create something big. And that's a question that this is a dilemma that we always have, like in the company, because we have partner network, and they work with huge corporations, enterprises, and mid-sized businesses, and they would like to meet the needs of those companies. And in most cases, they can realize it with the API. Any custom development can be done with the API or SDK. That is why we can see right now a trend towards opening, or maybe opening a little bit, the telematics. So the evolution itself of telematics, it is shifting from only working with hardware to also providing something on top. Even you can see hardware manufacturers creating mobile applications to control fuel level sensors, like if I'm not mistaken, Escort fuel monitoring systems, they have it. Some other vendors, they also have mobile applications to configure and remotely manage those devices. So this is the future. Maybe everything is going mobile because it's really easy to create mobile, and this is the evolution itself. This is the essence of evolution of telematics. Creating a separate features is not a trend anymore. You should create an impact, and you cannot just chase every case, and you cannot just be good for every client, every end customer, or every partner. So you should create opportunities. And we can see the evolution of telematics itself in creating those opportunities for other companies to create something additional. This is the evolution. Maybe this is the trend of one of the trends. Maybe electric vehicles will be evolution, though they have lots of moments, lots of other questions that are not still resolved. And you could all see today a chat in the general chat of the conference. You could see different comments from people regarding wireless hardware against wired hardware. This is also a question. This is a dilemma. Maybe we're witnessing a new emerging technology that's going to be on the market very soon. And because I know that some of the companies in the US, they even provide technologies to recharge tracking devices and other hardware remotely over the air, without using any cables or any wires. So this is maybe the future. And also another point that was also indicated by Colin Sutherland is about working with OEMs. I know that this is a hot topic right now, because if we're talking about aftermarket sales, aftermarket vehicles and fleets, this is a situation where we're going to have like hardwares and they're going to be installed. But when we're talking about new cars and all those OEMs that are trying to offer their in-house telematics services as well. So this is like telematics by design. And lots of people discussing, and experts right now in telematics, they're discussing the possibility of cooperating with OEMs, car manufacturers, and other companies, just to aggregate this data, just to make it single and unified, to give it to other companies and maybe service providers, just to complete the business flow that they need. So maybe this is the future. And maybe the future is shared telematics as well. Maybe we're going to witness in a couple of years that some of the companies will just form alliances will share customers, will share clients, will share partners, and they will just add their own value to each other. Because we should make a transition from proprietary telematics to shared telematics. It's really hard because when you have a solution and you invest money in it, and you think about your people and you think about monetization and business model that we have at the moment, it is always a risk, because you have somebody behind your back. But maybe this is the future. Maybe the future is open source telematics as well. So maybe because GPS tracking itself is becoming commodity. So is the same going to happen with telematics? Nobody knows. Maybe it's going to become a commodity, like Colin also indicated in his presentation, as it's going to be free. And the only thing that will matter is the on-top services that you build on public telematics or something else. So because we have to create value, we have to create impact. But it's really hard when because you hear the real demand from the market and you have dreams. And it's really hard to make that transition from your dream. I mean, maybe to match your dreams and the real market demand. So that's always a dilemma. That's always a dilemma. So maybe anybody wants to join me for a discussion, because I've been just talking to you, of course, but I expected that we're gonna have a hot discussion together and to understand what we can expect, because there are lots of technologies. If we remember video telematics, it was like a momentum. So it accelerated telematics, but at the moment, you can see video telematics almost everywhere. You can see telematics platform providers, they all have video telematics and they replicate most of them, the features. So the majority of telematics platforms they look like each other. They provide the same features, but they do not provide the same experience. They do not provide the same customer experience, because from the business point of view, when you have a global partner network, the main point is to find that balance. You should provide an excellent client service. You should provide a great customer service, and also cloud infrastructure. So what makes the future? Thank you, Edmundo. Yeah, I'm seeing a question from Edmundo. Creates content. Yes, so maybe this is the future. Maybe users should create that value, like any startups or third-party developers. So this is like when you have making it affordable, making it available to mass market. Because we are experts in telematics. Most of us, we have been doing it for 10 plus years, and we're a little bit focused, like we have like a shrink focus. But if we take a look outside, we would see lots of different people with crazy ideas. And sometimes we should be crazy because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, like COVID showed us. I hope that all of you guys are recovering very good after the COVID in terms of economy, because we are doing great. We could find that balance, and we're just doing really great. And getting back to the topic, like telematics 2.0, yeah, like industry 4.0, maybe, yeah, in the next generation, vertically. Maybe we should grow not vertically, but also horizontally. Maybe we should provide that telematics not only to companies, but also to end customers. And I may tell you from my experience that I know lots of companies here in Moscow, in Russia, that already have their in-house developers. They're dealing with telematics data, with telemetry, with other aggregated data that we provide from our platform. And they create their own solutions because logics is not the same for each of the company. So maybe maybe it will be Edmundo, maybe that will be the next Facebook. So who knows? We will see it. Edmundo, it's a pity that you cannot join verbally and discuss that topic. I can see your comments, but Yeah, I was expecting to have something else. There are lots of, but definitely there are lots of trends going on, and nobody knows because everybody is just, they're testing different ideas. Because video telematics as well, it's not, I mean, it is some sort of evolution of telematics, but I think that we should provide some tools and opportunities even to end customers. And in this case, we're going to see a rise of telematics. We can see it becoming really mass market. Believe me, I bet that if you go outside and ask anybody on the streets if they know telematics, they will definitely tell you, no, we don't know. What is that? Is it telepathics or telematics? What are you talking about, my friend? So that's going to be the answer. And we have to make it more popular. We have to penetrate the market. And it's really hard to do that when we have our own solutions, when everybody is trying to earn money. We should deliver some value. And it's really hard. There are lots of different obstacles, but I hope that finally maybe it's going to be unified. Maybe we're going to witness some change in our mentality, in our mind, and we will be cooperating even more. Of course, it's easier to say than to do, but I hope so. Okay, Edmundo, yeah, I can see you. I think, Edmundo, you have tried to send a request to me. Okay. Hi,
Yes.
Edmundo.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Edmundo. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm listening very interested here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Could you please introduce yourself? What country are you from? Where you
Oh,
based?
cool. Yeah, I can tell. I'm from Chile, but I'm living here in Lithuania. I've been working for one of the big manufacturers of GPS trackers here in Lithuania. And now, yeah, I am in my own path, let's say. So, yeah, I'm listening to you, and I'm very interested in thinking what could be next in the industry. How to differentiate it, what we can do. Like keep boosting the industry. So yeah, this is what I can
Thank you,
say.
Edmundo. Yeah, thank you, Edmundo. Maria also joined us. Maria, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Denis. Edmundo. For me, yes, it's very interesting to understand what we will have in the future, because I'm quite new in this area of telematics, and I joined Omnicom just 1 month ago. So I would like to meet here people to understand better how do you live? And yes, I agree. I have listened, Denis, your speech. Congratulations. Yes, I agree that the collaboration and partnership and the solution, it is the most important in our work. So I believe that our solutions can be very useful for any fuel management system like Omnicom. Yeah, I will tell you a little bit more what we are doing. Omnicom is a provider of fuel level sensors of high quality. So I believe that any fleet owner is interested in control the fuel consumption. So for example, your system, as I understand, it is a GPS system, right?
Fleet tracking and GPS, like mobile resource management, we call it. We are making transition towards mobile resource management, just incorporating everything.
So, I mean, if the customer receives all in one solution, not only GPS tracking, but also fuel consumption, it will be already much better, right? So
yeah, of course. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and also I have worked with Latin America, so we're greeting to Chile, Edmundo.
Oh.
And right now, Edmundo is not far from us, actually. He is in Lithuania. So.
Yeah, I'm in Vilnius right now, living for several years. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, here in Lithuania, there are at least 2 big manufacturers, 2 plus a few smaller. So yeah, it's like somehow the core of the industry, and from my point of view, representing somehow what happened in Latin America, I mean, for me, I think I'm in the very center of the at least the hardware industry. We have Rustam also nearby. We have you guys and Mapon and other people. So yeah, I'm here, and thinking or trying to see a little bit further, what could be the different or the next step, and what could be the differentiation. It is true that, for example, in Latin America, there are a lot of problems, I think, pretty much like in the rest of the world, similar problems, like the fuel stealing, which is the case of the sensors, the probes, for the fuel level sensors. But also about security, like I don't know, theft of the trucks, or even kidnapping the
Yes, I know in
driver.
Brazil. Yes, our partners, for example, they told me a lot about sequestro. I mean, when
Yes, it's true. Kidnapping. Yes, it's true.
Everything is stolen, and that's so very, very, very dangerous.
It is. It is. So what I see here in Europe is like we think well, I would say like me, like European side of myself, like we see and we want to go beyond, adding value to the service, and thinking about all this artificial intelligence and big data, and to do better and more smarter things in the telematics, yes. But the reality in many places is like the industry somehow is stuck dealing with a very complex problem, which is the security or the safety, or just avoiding the losing of the fuel, or the truck, or even the life of the driver. So yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just a comment I want to make. I think eventually the industry will realize, or will come up with some interesting solution that will cover both of the problematics. Like one from one side, the efficiency, how to make the most efficient use of a fleet or the resources of a company, and the other side, how to protect, I don't know, this the assets of a company, like
and Denis, maybe you have some use case of security. I mean,
we do have, but we have a new member of our session. Armand, please, could you introduce yourself? What company and country do you represent?
Hi guys, good to see you also. Thank you, Denis, for this session. It's very interesting. So my name is Armand. I'm from company Mapon. Currently, responsible. So some of you know us, and so I'm currently responsible for the mapping branches in Spain and also Latin America. So and Finland and Estonia. So wanted to join this discussion.
Thank you, and also we can see Wojciech. Hi, Wojciech.
Hello.
Could you please introduce yourself as well?
Well, I'm from Czech Republic, from the company named SIDA, and we are a map producer and map provider. We create our own map data for Czech Republic and Slovakia, and our data are part of TomTom and Google Maps, and we provide license for Google Maps. So I like to join this discussion because I want to collect some information from providers like Denis is, because I really believe that we can bring more values by enhancing the maps. The maps are always at the background of your systems. So I really need to provide some better solution with maps and upgrading map data to provide you more information.
Okay, thank you, Wojciech. So, and how do you see the next evolution of telematics for next generations? Because really, like right now, millennials and generation Y or Z or whatever, like the new generations, they're absolutely different. They have different habits. So how to make telematics habitual kind of thing? Because mobility as a service is somehow doing it, because they're actually just getting that pop, youngsters and everybody right now has everything on their phone. They can, for example, fly over to Czech Republic, to Prague. They can open up an offline map on Navigator and just go anywhere they want to. So what do you see as a possible evolution? of telematics?
Yeah. We have some research and development projects focused on mobility as a service. Yeah, we want to join shared bikes and share electro vehicles and public transport, and we want to try to build some application where you only said, "I'm here, I want to go there, and I don't care about the means of transport." And we will select the best possible ways, and you can enter if you want to go by foot, you want to go by bike. If you have some limitations, for example, you are an old people and you don't want to go on the steps, for example. Yeah, and this service have to count with all these possibilities you just entered, and provide you the best route.
Okay. Thank
you.
So
this is from the map side, because we need to prepare the map data structure for all these possibilities. Yeah, okay. This is the one part. The second part is that you need to have some routing machines that will compute with all these possibilities. And the third thing is that you need to collect live data. For example, there is an elevator in an underground station, and this service needs information. Is this elevator on, or is this maybe it's broken? Yeah. So if you are really live in the street, you need to have this information before you go to the elevator, because when the elevator is broken, you need to compute the different route.
Okay. All right. Thanks. And Armand, can you also please share your vision and maybe your suggestions about the telematics for next generation? So what do you think it's gonna be from a bigger scale? So what we can expect, because maybe everything, business models are going to change, maybe monetization is going to change, because we are talking about data, but how we can monetize it. I keep receiving inquiries from different companies about telematics data, that actually the companies that resell or reuse that data for another purposes, like in Germany, for example, or anywhere else, for parking kind of things, to make everything efficient, or traffic on the streets, to minimize the traffic. So what is your suggestions about the future of telematics?
It's actually very hard to tell about like the suggestions, yeah. And what I see, like from my perspective, yeah. So where it's like going, it's like more like towards the way that how to say, like connected cities, maybe that's the way, yeah. So when actually it's you how to say, you told about the millennials, yeah. So this is something we have to be ready, because so they want to see everything on a mobile phone. So that's right, yeah. So and we have to provide the data, yeah. But who will collect the data? So that's the question, yeah. And I think this is the thing that where the government has to be involved as well. Some kind of maybe not the local government, but some kind of European institution maybe. So it has to be like in terms of like European Union, yeah. So who will collect the data and who will like make it public, yeah. So and this will give also the way to monetize it, yeah. So because I believe that the business we are doing now, like just taking like the end customers, the fleets and the trucks as our customers. So it's not going to be like it's going to be still. But we have to be ready, yeah. But the big question is that are these like companies, the end customers, ready for this evolution? So we are talking about APIs. We have a great solutions. We can provide everything like we are APIs, yeah. But where we are struggling, yeah, so that the end customers are not ready. Yeah? So okay, the key accounts, of course, yeah. So they have their in-house like development team, yeah. So basically they are not logging in into our system at all, yeah. So they're just collecting the data from us, yeah. But the question is about all the others, yeah. So and how soon they're gonna make this important step, yeah. So like it's not gonna be about the simple tracking and the fuel monitoring. So this is like
this is going to become a commodity everywhere. So it's just inevitable. So we're gonna witness it. From my point of view, I agree with Arman's. At the moment, not the market itself, from the end customer's point of view, is not really ready to work with API. But actually, I think we're gonna see that transition little by little, step by step. The majority of companies and customers, anybody, even small businesses, they will be able to go and work with the data. But the right question is, who's going to own that data? And what other regulations imposed? For example, in Great Britain, they're a little bit different to GDPR, like European mainland regulations. And in the US, they're also a little bit different. How, for example, cloud infrastructure providers like Amazon or Azure, Microsoft Azure, are going to deal with that. So who's going to be responsible? Because there are lots of different agreements like DPAs or something else. It's really complicated. Like the same thing goes about ELDHOS, like the alternative to tachographs, but only in North America. It is the same, actually, because I think that this week they eased ELDHOS regulations. They changed it a little bit, but they made it simpler than it used to be before, because it was really complicated. I met people from the US and they told me, hey, we don't get it. We do not understand how to deal with that. Because why should we have it? It was all transparent and all simple with regular ABRD kind of hardware that they have alternatives to tachographs. But then they went digital. I think this is also digitalization. But yeah, the right question, I absolutely agree with you that right now market is not that ready, but it's getting there. It's getting there. And I can even tell you that in our company, we can see some of the end customers, like the huge corporations, they're trying to hunt sometimes our developers. This is a switch. And this is a threat. Wojciech, Edmundo, maybe, or Maria, maybe you would like to add something?
Yeah, I just would like to add something about cloud, because on my previous job, I met a lot of restrictions from customers, especially governmental customers, that, for example, the server or cloud server should be installed should be installed at the same country. For example, I had negotiations with a big Brazilian petroleum company, and of course they need all the data to be stored in Brazil. And it's impossible to have anything in the United States, in Russia, of course not. So yeah, I believe that in our nearest future we will not have any changes in this field. So yeah.
So it's a good point, actually. So is telematics going to be cloud, or if it's going to be still standalone? Is there going to be another version, another variant, not only cloud? Because we, as software as a service kind of thing, we do also have at the moment standalone solutions, because we do understand on-premise solutions should be here right now. If you're talking to, for example, a bank or a company in Saudi Arabia or in Turkey, and they're not allowed to store their data anywhere else except of their local market. So how to deal with that? So this is also about regulations and all that kind of stuff. Legal games.
It's legal games, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can have a separate instance, but it will be increase the cost of the project for the customer, and it will be another point of view. I mean, how to create this cost-effective solution, and also to restrictions and requirements. But probably for us, like a vendors, it is also a challenge a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to comment that in general, for example, this very specific request when the data should be stored in a local server because of in general are very specific cases. I've seen several cases like that, but are very, very specific, like in general public tenders from some governmental or some very high security, maybe this army, this kind of very, very particular things. But in general, for the public, for the end user, and thinking that the penetration of the telematics still is so small, I think is there are two things coming right now together. No, like the hardware is going to be just a commodity. Is the way to provide the service, but the service and the experience or the value that the client or the end user is going to have will come from the software. And this is important. I think this is the important part. Hardware, yes, there are a lot of hardware, good and bad, and very good and very bad. But I think all the experience comes in general from the end user. It will come from the software. They are not touching. They are not even touching. The black boxes as they call it. So I think like like if we have to make some kind of philosophy about all of this, like I have this idea of the telematics 2.0. Like from the point of view that something should happen in the industry somehow that everything what is until today, it will be totally in the past, and it will be like some kind of revolution as was with Facebook, or was with the Twitter, or I don't know. In the past, in the internet, the information in the media came from the big media holdings, like I don't know, from New York Post, or I don't know. And today the information is created by the users. Of course, I don't mean that in the telematics is going to happen exactly the same, but something should happen, some kind of, I don't know, some idea based on software that will make easier implementation or better penetration.
Some miracle.
But it's not a miracle. It's a matter of technology and trying to find the key. This is the important.
And it's really hard.
Yeah, but maybe combining different things. Not only telematics, but also like domotics or something like that. I don't know, something integrated. Everything is here in the phone. So maybe this is the difference. Like I don't know, guys.
So maybe mobile telematics is the answer. Maybe the mobile telematics, because it has everything, mapping services as well, so you can be redirected to anything else. You can integrate with anything else, so it is easy. And mobile SDK as well, so it's on the rise, and you can see more and more companies, not from telematics but banking and other engines, they're trying to develop mobile SDK. They're selling it, and apart from data, for example, but they're selling it. So maybe mobile SDK, because in case of Wojciech, for example, they're dealing with mapping and GIS services. Maybe indoor telematics as well, based on triangulation. When you have a phone, you have Wi-Fi spot, Bluetooth, and LBS or GPS, depending on the building itself. If it is concrete, there is, of course, no GPS, of course, but LBS. So maybe it's like indoor telematics with navigation kind of thing. Maybe this is the future.
Maybe
mobile telematics, because all those, electric vehicles are good, but it only refers to good, healthy economies, actually. Because if you go to Africa with all those aftermarket cars, they don't care about electric vehicles. And if you go to Asia, they also don't care about electric scooters. They would like to ride just the cheapest scooter they can buy. That's it. And the volume of population in those regions. So, I think about North America and Europe, it's about software. Really about software. But if we're talking about Africa and Asia and some other countries, not all the Asia, because Singapore is a very good country, and Malaysia as well. But if we're talking about the majority of the countries, they don't care about software. I could witness lots of cases when the clients of our partners, they told, oh, you know, we're gonna choose some cheap platform, for example, because we don't care about, we don't need that. We just need simple tracking, and that's it. Fuel monitoring, okay, that's it. We don't need anything else. We don't need that big data, AI, or all those technologies, because they're not familiar with them. They don't see the value, how they can, you know,
the
improve their
value
life.
is very straight away for them, you know, because if they can catch the driver stealing fuel, it's accomplished, you know. So how can you deal with this all this added value from the newest technology when you're dealing with these problems, you know? So this is the situation. Is in Latin America, it's very common and very popular situation.
The same goes about using API. Yeah, I definitely agree. Because if you go to Africa, for example, to Latin America, and we have also offices in Latin America, and of course our partners use API just to create some custom reports. Yes, they just need data, aggregated data, for example, or raw data. They just get it. And then with data forwarding or API, in case of aggregated data, they just create some custom reports and sell them. That's it. That's what they need.
And it's enough for them.
And Wojciech, maybe you can also give some input about mapping services interrelated with you know, data kind of thing.
Well, it's slightly connected with APIs, because there are many producers of information channels. For example, we are working with mapping of parking sites, but there are dozens of formats. Yeah, the parking site has its own API providing information about specific parking places, whether the place is free or not. And we want to provide this information to many people. So we want to connect this dozens of APIs into one single service with one single format. Yeah, and we are talking to state authorities to support this, because we see that this is very important, that some developers don't have to learn how to talk with dozens of providers. They need to learn how to talk with one single provider. So we ask authorities to support us with collecting this to one single service. And in a very similar level, we want the authorities to pay for very detailed mapping, for example, of city centers, detailed mapping of pavements and steps and things like that, because if you have very detailed maps of center or inside buildings, you can provide map service and routing service for blind people, for disabled people, and all we want to do is to provide the API with some high abilities, and we want to provide this API to many application producers. Yeah, we just want the cities or these authorities to say, yes, our city want to have this data, and it should be free data. It should be available to anybody who wants to create application with this. And we don't want to say, yeah, you have to do application like this because it will be good for people like this. No. We just want to provide a service and let the market go on. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Do you mean that your solution is free. I mean, it is strange because we are talking about
no. The solution, the solution is not free, as you say like this, but there are sure there are some costs to build the solution and to run the solution, but we think that it is the state authority who should pay for this, because this solution might be very important for ordinary people. And if you have services like this, if you have APIs like this, there will surely be many producers and programmers that will develop applications. And we don't want to talk to these developers saying that their business plan should be like this. Yeah, we just want to provide them the service. For sure, some of these services will be paid, but for example, if you have a service providing information about timetables of public transport, this should really be free. Anyone can build an application providing information about public transport, and it is his own business how he will sell this application. If it will be paid directly or it will be paid by advertising. Yeah, and if someone builds an application connected to these timetables, he should be able to connect direct payment from this application, for example. Yeah, and we want to be at the back of this. Yeah, we want to collect information from timetables to provide connection to some payment solution, and we want to let developers do their part.
Thank you. Yeah. So basically, Telematics as a service transforms into some backend kind of things, letting other developers and companies create some value on top of it. We also see this trend because really, like, everybody's doing just the same because it's proprietary. Like, if you go to any platform, almost any platform, you will see the same thing. Either it is GURTAM or Navixy or GPS Gate, anybody. Almost the same thing. I think this is about ideas because we're just creating too many obstacles and not flexible, and we should create opportunities for other people. Even maybe it's going to be like freemium model, like Wojciech taught, you know, or maybe for non-commercial projects it's going to be free, and for commercial projects it's going to be, of course, monetized. But yeah, maybe this is the future. Yeah, I think that our time has run off.
A little bit. Yeah, okay.
A little bit, yeah. I would like to thank you, Edmundo, you in particular, for joining, for being a pilot, member of this session. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Have a great day. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Denis.
Yeah, if you want to be friends, you can add me to your LinkedIn. You have a LinkedIn icon on my profile in the reception area. Please, I'm open to new friends, to new experts. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too. Bye.